Hey guys, welcome back to Sonic Adventure Extra. This time we are going to be going into the Chao guide. Part 1. Basics. AKA everything you need to know before raising Chao efficiently. Okay, so I'm basically going to start out with showing the locations of all the Chao Gardens. They're not really all that well hidden and are pretty easy to find if you look hard enough. But I figured since we are going over the basics, I may as well show them just for the sake of completion. So, as I'm sure everyone knows at this point, Sonic Adventure has adventure fields, 3 to be precise, and hidden within each adventure field there is a Chao Garden. Like I said, they're not very well hidden, but yeah, I'm going to show you where they all are. So, starting out with the first adventure field, Station Square, the Chao Garden is pretty easy to find, and to be completely honest, we've already walked past it about 1,000 times throughout the main game, and extras to some degree. So, basically, so this is the starting point. So I'm deciding to start at the starting point. So this is where you spawn when you load into the game. So from here, you want to go into the hotel. So you want to go into the hotel, and then you'll see there are two lifts here. There's this one which takes you to the Chaos 3 boss fight with Knuckles, if I recall, and then this other lift which will take you to the Chao Garden. Okay, next up, Mystic Ruins. So here is the starting point. There is the train. So this is where you get off at the train. And to find the Chao Garden, you want to go all the way back here. You want to go back to this little cave back here where... so you go back here. Here's the cave. This is where you dug up, this is where you got the shovel claw as Knuckles. But you want to go back out here, and then you'll see a mine or trolley cart here. Jump in that and it'll take you straight to the Chao Garden. And finally, the egg carrier. So the Chao Garden for the egg carrier is located below decks. So you want to go up here, and then you want to hop on here and go below decks. And then you want to go over this way to where you'll see a bunch of buttons on the floor, which open up this door here, which does lead to the Chao Garden. So you've got to press the buttons in the right order. If you don't hit them in the right order, a pan falls on your head. It can be a small one or it can be a large one. But either way, you have to hit the buttons in the correct order. There is usually a screen on here to give you a hint, which you don't really need. It's pretty obvious what it is, but I've got that disabled just because Tikal's kind of annoying here. So just hit all the buttons in the correct order. E, G, G, M, A, and then finally N. And that opens up the door, which has a teleporter which will take you straight to the Chao Garden. Okay, next, how about I give you a brief little tour around all the Chao Gardens and showing the basic facilities. Okay, so this is the Station Square Chao Garden, the most preferable for raising Chao, also the one that I'll be using. Yes, so every Chao Garden is equipped with various facilities such as a some body of water so you can teach your Chao to swim. Also palm trees for getting food for your Chao, which I'll touch on later. A Chao name and departure machine, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. And also and also like teleporters that allow you to go back and forth between Chao Gardens. And unique to the Station Square Chao Garden is the Chao Racers, which I'll show later, and also the Black Market. Yeah, these are exclusive to the Station Square Chao Garden. Next up, the Mystic Ruins Chao Garden. Yep, like I said, every Chao Garden is equipped with these basic facilities, with the teleporters, the Chao name machine, the water, and the palm trees. Also, don't worry, time goes by separately for each Chao Garden, so you don't really have to worry about your Chao being in another garden being lonely. So time only passes while you're actually in the garden, so yeah. Don't need to really worry about that at all. So I do have I am using the Dreamcast Chao Gardens. The DX versions are a bit different, but a little bit smaller in my opinion, and I don't know, kind of crappy in my opinion. But yeah, so I've got the really big Chao Gardens. I'd say, like, you know, these other gardens are nice. There's just one little problem: they're a lot easier to drown in. That was one thing they fixed. That's the one thing I like. I think, like, being able to drown these ones is something I think that's still one gripe I really have about this garden, to be honest. And the same goes for Egg Carrier. And, oh yeah, there's that as well, which I'm not sure if you could die in the actual Dreamcast version, but yeah, you can actually jump off the edge here, which just spawns you back here. And finally, last but not least, the Egg Carrier Chao Garden, which is on a resort island, which is, I mean, it's, you know, it's appealing, it's quite nice, it's very tropical, it's definitely got a nice atmosphere to it. But again, yeah, personally, I recommend only using the Station Square Chao Garden personally, just because, yeah, look how deep this is. The DX Chao Gardens are nowhere, like there's still deep water, but nowhere near this bad. So yeah, if a Chao goes in here, you're not gonna be able to get to them. You have to like reload the Chao Garden just to get to them. So yeah, you can imagine how that would be a little frustrating. But yes, and oh look, a Chao egg. Yep. Okay, so this is basically where all of your Chao basically start from, an egg. Yep. So basically, you can hatch and raise your Chao from the egg. And you can also buy special eggs from the, you can buy special Chao eggs from the black market with the rings you collect, and you can also find other special Chao eggs around the adventure field. 1 egg per adventure field. And actually, now that we're saying it, I might as well go and get them now. Oh look! A shiny golden egg on display. You know what? I think I want it, but unfortunately the shopkeeper doesn't take rings, so we're going to have to find another way of getting it. So if we go over here, and yeah, we'll find a rock here which is somewhat egg-shaped in size. So yeah, so we take the rock, and then we go in here, and alright, so we place the rock down there, take the gold egg away, and we're trapped. However, no need to worry, as we are smart criminals. Just take the rock, place it on the pedestal, and now we can safely take the egg away. Yep. Stealing is fun. Okay, joking aside, don't steal. Like, seriously, you just don't. I just want to say that was meant to be taken as a joke. So, joking aside, don't steal, don't break the law. Just it's not cool. Okay, so the silver egg is all the way over here in, I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, it's right over there. right behind that waterfall. So, you might be thinking, how do we get that? Well, it's simple. Just jump down here, and then we just push this mechanism in there. It drops the egg, and now we just wait for the egg to reach the shore. It'll take just a few minutes, not really, well, just not even like, it'll take maybe a minute or two. But yeah, it doesn't take that long, just wait for it to reach the shore. Yep, it's almost here. And now we, oh god, now we can take the egg away. Okay, so only Amy, Big, and E102 Gamma can access the last egg, which is in the prison here. So just open the door to the brig. Yeah, just open the brig and then go in here, and the egg is in the middle cell here. So just jump on here, open the door, and there we can access the final Chao egg, which again, only Amy, Big, and E102 can access this one. Okay, so now we have our Chao eggs. Let's begin actually hatching them. So, there are actually 3 methods of hatching Chao. The first one is kind of boring. Basically, the Chao will actually the eggs will actually hatch on their own if left on their own long enough, but that's obviously boring as all the hell. So there's two other ways of hatching Chao. So one, waiting for them to hatch on their own. Way number 2, which I'm not going to do or recommend, is basically the second method is to basically pick up the egg and just like throw it against the wall. But I don't particularly recommend or condone that method, because it's just cruel. It's just really cruel in my opinion. You know, it's basic. I mean, I don't even like. I was gonna say something, but it's too dark for me to even go there, so I'm not gonna bother. But you can probably just put the pieces of what I was thinking. Yeah, it's too cruel. So we're not doing that. So the other method, which is much kinder and the best way, is basically pick up the egg, hold X, and then so hold down the action button and move the thumbstick in any direction and just rock the egg, and just basically do that for a few seconds. So just, that should be long enough. Then put the egg down, and that basically helps the egg to hatch, which is a much more kinder way of hatching than smashing the Chao against the wall. Like, honestly, that's just cruel. That's just really cruel. So, 1, let's go and get the other 2. So here's the other egg. So basically each Chao garden comes with 2 regular eggs, and then obviously the special egg you find in Adventure Field. So it takes a second to actually trigger it, but just do this for a few seconds. Again, how you do it is just by, it takes a second, but basically press X, and whilst holding X, you want to move the top thumbstick in any direction really. Well, I think any direction. So just hold the X button and then just move the thumbstick in a direction, and just do that for a few seconds, and then just put the egg down. And there we go. And hey, look, the other egg hatched on its own. There we go. That's the gold egg. That's the gold egg, the only special one I'm going to be raising, unless I decide to get something at the black market. But as of right now, the only special one I have planned. So, right, let's quickly have a little look at everyone, since the Chao do have I think depending on how you hatch them, they do have unique facial expressions. So let's see. This Chao is happy. Happy with eyes closed. So kind of like a Brock face, I guess, from Pokemon. So that Chao is basically happy squinting, like with the eyes closed, kind of like Brock in Pokemon. This Chao is regular happy, as you can see there. And where are you? And this Chao over here this Chao is, okay, so they're all happy, which is good. So this Chao is happy, but has a slightly evil grin. Yeah, Chao do have different facial expressions. I think depending on how you raise them, how you treat them, whatever, I think their facial expressions do tend to change based on how you hatch them. Obviously, if you're more abusive when you hatch them, like I think if you threw them against the wall, they'd have a more sad or angry expression, I think. But yeah, so anyway, now we have Chao. Okay, so now we've got Chao, now we have to name them. And how you do that is by this machine over here. So just grab your Chao and then bring them over to this machine. This is a Chao naming machine. I am using the Dreamcast graphics, so obviously it's a bit different in the DX and GameCube version, but we go in here. That brings us to this menu. So this is a Chao name machine. So basically you can name your Chao here, and you can also send them away, which I don't particularly recommend you do at all. Like maybe if you've like bitten off more than you can chew, like my best advice is basically just don't get more Chao than what you think you can handle, really. But I suppose if you've got too many, you can send them away then. But you can also just put them in another garden momentarily for a while. Again, time goes by separately for each Chao garden, so you don't have to worry about them being lonely. But yeah, I don't particularly recommend you use the goodbye option at all, because it is sad. I don't even want to go in there. So anyway, let's name our Chao. So that brings you to this menu, and unfortunately you can't use the keyboard, unfortunately, which is a shame. So yeah, basically, right, now it's a case of just finding the character we want for the Chao. You can name the Chao any which way you like. It might take you a while just because the characters are all jumbled. But yeah, now we basically name our Chao. So let's see. What do I want to name the Chao? Right, let's see. What do I want to go with? This might take a second, actually. Okay, so there's our first Chao, which I have named Asta, Yuno, and finally Magna. Yeah, that should be a bit of an indication of what I've been watching lately. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Black Clover. I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah, we have our three Chao, and basically all the characters you can see here are what you can use. You can name them English, you can use the Japanese characters. Yeah, you can name them any which way. Copyright infringement, at least within the game, doesn't exist. Okay, so now we have Chao. So now we have Chao, we need to keep them alive. So we need food, which is on these palm trees. So yeah, the food's on these palm trees here. Yeah, they're so there is like nuts or fruit on here. Some might be on the ground, but if they're not, just grab the tree with X and then just shake the tree with the thumbstick, and eventually the fruit should eventually fall off. And then you can present the fruit to your Chao. If they are hungry enough, they will actually go and get it themselves. If they're hungry enough, but yeah, let's give it to these guys, and so they can have their first meal. That's okay. That's one you're eating, and yeah. Also, you might have noticed that when they eat, they also get they get their levels up. I'll talk more about that later. Oh, seriously, come on, dude, really. Actually, was it you? I can't remember. Okay, it was Yuno, right. Come on, I know it's for a pot potato, but still, eat. Okay, and as for you, Astra, I believe it was. Where are you? Come on. There he is. Okay, now please eat. Oh. Okay, seriously. But, yeah, basically that's how you get food. No, really? Ah, oh, that's annoying. It's a general idea to basically make them eat. It's because it helps them get their stats up. But yeah, even if you don't want to, it is best to get them to eat. Even if they don't want to, even if you have to stand over them and watch them, it's a little annoying, but it's a good idea. It's a good idea to make them eat, especially when they've just hatched. Oh, come on! Okay, that was very, very frustrating, but I have now gotten everyone to eat. So, yes. So as you can see, them eating has made them gain stamina. I'll talk more about that next episode, but yeah, when they first hatch, it is a good idea to get them all to eat, even if they don't want to. I'll talk more about these skills and stamina and stuff later, but even if it's a little frustrating, you want to get them all to eat. Okay, so I already talked a little bit about this a little while ago, but this is the black market. Let's go in. Okay, so this is the black market. So in here you can buy things with you can buy various things with the rings, and you can sell things. Mainly eggshells, mainly fruit and eggshells. You cannot sell chow or animals. I'll talk more about the animals next time. Okay, that takes care of the eggshells. So yeah, you can sell stuff and you can also buy stuff with the rings. So let's have a little look. So here you can buy chow eggs. There are like regular chow eggs, there are shinier chow eggs. Yeah, typically the rarer the more expensive the egg, the more powerful the chow. So keep an eye on prices and stuff. So there's chow eggs, there's regular chow eggs, there's shiny chow eggs. There's special fruit. So this is hero fruit that that turns a chow into a hero chow when they evolve / grow up. Hard fruit. I think that's pretty obvious what that does. I'll probably talk more about that in part 3. Chow / skill fruit. I want to get myself one of these for in a bit. So skill fruit, I'll show what that does in a bit. Or chow fruit. Triangular fruit, cubic fruit, and there is also circular fruit if I recall. But these are basically just replacements for regular fruit. And then of course there's an apple, and then a bucket, and yeah. Buckets, empty can, stump, wool beanie. These are basically all stuff that a chow puts on his head. I'll show what that does later. It's really more for the races, but again, I'll show what that does later properly. Mushroom, which is a food item. But yeah, there are various things you can get in the black market, which have different purposes. And also, items do vary with time. And also, the more how you unlock rare stuff is by unlocking more emblems. So the more emblems you have, the more rare stuff you'll unlock, and the more common rare stuff will be. That's why I did everything else before this. And for the final topic of this video, let's have a little look at skills. So as you can see, every chow has 5 skills: swim, fly, run, power, and stamina. So, every chow has 5 skills and affinity to 1 or more skills. How to find out what skills your chow has an affinity for? Well, that's simple. First, you want to go to the black market and buy a You want to go to the black market and buy a chow or skill fruit, which is one of these. To be more precise, you're going to want 2 for each chow that you are raising. So that's 6 for me in total. So what the skill fruit basically does is skill fruit advances all skills equally, and 2 are enough to advance 1 level, and whichever skill your chow has as an affinity, whichever skill the chow has the most points in is the affinity your chow has. So yeah, this is going to take a little while because I'm going to have to force feed these guys again, so just wait a sec. Okay, so I'm basically done force feeding everyone. That was very, very annoying. But yeah, like I was saying before, skill fruits basically, so yes, skill fruits basically advance all of the skills equally, and whichever Chao has the most points for a particular skill is what they have an affinity for. So now that I've finished feeding everyone, let's see what everyone's stats are. So let's see. Okay, right, let me see. Okay, so it looks like you might have an affinity towards, I think, looks like running. Running and power, from what I can tell. So running and power for Magna. Okay, running and power for Magna, I need to remember that. Running and power. Asta, come on here, buddy. Come on. Okay, Asta, you're okay. So it seems like you have more an affinity towards power and flying. Power and flying, from what I can tell. Yeah, whichever the number is highest for is what they have an affinity for. And let's see. So now it's just Yuno. Where are you? Okay, you're in the water. And oh, you're already swimming, so that's a good sign. Yeah, it looks like you've got an affinity for swimming, which is, yeah, that's a really good sign. Okay, that is going to about do it for part 1 of my Chao guide. So next time in part 2, we're going to look more in skill development. So that general type of stuff, slightly more advanced stuff like this. This part was just covering the very, very basics. Next time, we're going to be going into a little more complicated stuff. So like skill development, ring farming, animal farming, general stuff like that. I'll be going into like what you need to do, like, you know, going into more complicated stuff like stats and what animals I recommend. So yeah, that's all coming up. That's all coming up in part 2. Until then, have a good day, you guys.